In Gaza's war-scarred streets, a rare Hamas raid erupts from the tunnels. Israeli troops repel the attack, fearing a bid to seize soldiers. Within hours, Israel announces the killing of senior Hamas commanders. But a far greater storm gathers. 60,000 reservists called for a Gaza City assault. As civilians flee and protests ignite, the conflict hurtles toward its next reckoning. The Israeli military says it foiled a rare attempt by a large group of armed operatives to raid an army post in southern Gaza. The incident unfolded on August 20th near the city of Khan Younis, where troops of the Fear Brigade came under heavy fire. According to an initial military probe, a cell of at least 14 gunmen surfaced from tunnel shafts positioned close to the encampment. The attackers opened fire with machine guns and rocket-propelled grenades as they advanced on the post. Israeli forces responded quickly, engaging the cell in a firefight that lasted only minutes. The army reports that at least 8 of the attackers were killed just outside the position, while others are believed to have retreated into the tunnel system. An Israeli drone was also dispatched to strike the militants, though it remains unclear how many were hit from the air. 3 IDF soldiers were injured during the clash, including one in serious condition. He was evacuated to a hospital where his family was notified. The other 2 sustained minor injuries. Military officials say the attackers appeared to have been attempting not only to overrun the outpost, but also to kidnap soldiers. Such incidents are uncommon, particularly involving cells of this size. Last month, another group of gunmen attempted to strike an Israeli logistics route in the same area. The army has launched an aerial search for surviving members of the cell and is continuing strikes on targets linked to the group. As of now, no official statement has been released regarding the full number of casualties among the assailants. The confrontation underscores ongoing concerns in the Israeli military over Hamas's use of tunnel networks and the continued risk of cross-border raids from Gaza. Israel has announced the killing of senior Hamas figures as it moves forward with plans for an expanded operation in Gaza. On August 19th, the military confirmed that Mohammed Naif Abu Shamala, a Nukhba commander who is said to have infiltrated Israel on October 7th, was killed in Khan Younis last week. The army described him as responsible for multiple attacks on Israeli forces. Days earlier, Israeli officials said another fighter, Jihad Kamal Salam Najjar, had been eliminated. He was accused of participating in the abduction of Yarden Bibas from kibbutz near Oz. The announcements follow the earlier killing of Abdullah Said Abdal-Bakin, a deputy commander in Hamas's Jabalia battalion, who also reportedly crossed into Israel on October 7th and took part in raids on an army base. Israel is preparing one of its largest operations since the war began nearly 2 years ago, a full-scale assault on Gaza City. On August 19th, the Israel Defense Forces confirmed plans to call up 60,000 reservists over the coming months, while extending the service of 20,000 others. The mobilisation, approved by Defence Minister Israel Katz, will raise the number of active troops to about 130,000. Military officials say the offensive aims to take control of the city, though it is expected to displace thousands of Palestinians already facing hunger and aid shortages. The campaign, codenamed Gideon's Chariots B, will involve 5 divisions and 14 brigades supported by intelligence, logistics and combat engineering units. Infantry and armoured brigades are already operating in the Zaytun and Jabalia neighbourhoods, areas still believed to hold Hamas infrastructure. Evacuation warnings for civilians are expected to begin in the coming weeks, with Israeli officials indicating that residents should leave Gaza City by October 7th, the second anniversary of the Hamas attack that triggered the conflict. To prepare for mass displacement, the IDF says it is working with international organisations to establish new aid distribution sites and field hospitals in southern Gaza, including plans to reopen the European hospital in Khan Younis. The escalation comes as international mediators push for a ceasefire. Egypt's foreign minister said a US-backed proposal would pause fighting for 60 days and allow for a partial release of hostages. Hamas claims to have accepted the deal, but Israel's response remains uncertain amid divisions within Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's coalition. Meanwhile, Germany has strongly criticised Israel's military plans in Gaza, calling them difficult to understand in terms of how they will secure the release of hostages. Berlin expressed deep concerns over the escalating violence and urged all parties to prioritise diplomacy and protect civilian lives amid the ongoing conflict and humanitarian crisis in the region. Satellite images show civilians fleeing northern Gaza ahead of the expected assault, while inside Israel, large protests continue demanding both a ceasefire and a deal to bring hostages home. As the mobilisation expands, Tel Aviv University announced that it will award full scholarships to 180 undergraduate students who served more than 200 days in the reserves over the past year. Both new students beginning their studies and current undergraduates will be eligible. More than 8,000 students at the university across all faculties have been called to reserve duty, the largest number among Israeli academic institutions. The university said the scholarships aim to ease the transition from battlefield to classroom and free up students' time to focus on studies. Since the outbreak of the war, it has distributed over 40 million shekels in aid to reservists, covering dormitory rent, remedial classes, psychological support, and other assistance.